We are doing another one for indie collections, for indie releases, for looks. So I'm gonna do 4 different tutorials, and if you look at the bar down below, you will be able to see that I put some timestamps where you can see all the releases per one. I'm gonna show you the release, I'm gonna show you some swatches, and then I'm gonna do a look. And at the end, I'm gonna let you know which ones of these releases I thought was the best one, what the quality is, which one of them I like the least. And in this video, we have the Amy Loves collab palette together with Adept. We have DeDe's Signature Ultimate Cappuccino palette. We have the new Fantasy Cosmetica palette, the Cradled and Ice. And I also, what I'm wearing right now is the new Nomad collection because I didn't have time to do something dedicated to this. So I thought, what a great way to put it into this video. This video is not here for a shop. You need to buy all of this. This is just a little bit of a slice through what's new and hot in the indie community right now. If you were interested in these releases, you'll be able to see some swatches, you'll be able to see a demo, and I'm gonna let you know my first impression thoughts on these. If you weren't interested in any of these collections, which is perfectly fine, at least you'll get 4 different tutorials that you can maybe get inspired by and see something new. And for me, this has just been a great way to try a bunch of things at the same time and just give you all of the information in one video because it's getting a little bit saturated out there, and I just want to help you to get a bit of a better grip of all the releases that are coming out so that you can see if any of these are for you. And maybe none of them are for you. I will link all these palettes down below. You can use my affiliate code Angelica, I think at all 4 of these places, and you'll be able to get some money off if you're shopping. But again, this is not QVC. You don't need to be buying anything to be supporting my channel. Just you being here watching my videos is definitely enough. Let's get into the first one. That's going to be a look with the Amy Loves and Adept palette. I'm just here to do a second look with Amy's palette. I'm actually gonna put on just some lip balm first. This is the Lawless lip balm. This one is in Watermelon. I'm just out. It smells so beautiful. I'm just gonna run some errands with my husband today, and I wanted to wear makeup and I didn't want to wear colorful makeup, so I thought, what a perfect opportunity for me to do a second look with Amy's palette. Let me actually do a little bit from the highlighter first. I'm gonna do a little bit of this lighter highlighter, Athena. I've actually been using this palette quite a few times. I've used both the blushes and I've used both the highlighters, and I'm gonna use a little bit of Athena because I don't want to have like a super glow, because like I said, I am out to run some errands and I wanted to have, I was feeling something low-key. Maybe not low-key for me. We all know that like I love a little bit more of a dramatic thing, so I was hoping for something a little bit more low-key for me. So I thought it'd be perfect for me to do a second look with this palette. I am actually going to be wearing 1997. I was actually talking to Amy yesterday, and we were making jokes around the fact that she's born in 1997 because like I quite literally remember what I was doing in 1997, and it's so crazy that she was born then, and it's so lovely as an adult to have friends in different age gaps. And I'm not out here making friends with teenagers, but to have friends in your 50s and to have friends in their 20s, it's just so nice to have friends from different generations that are all adults that you can have discussions with and just get different perspectives from different generations. I think that that's a big part of like growing and maturing as an adult, is just realizing that even though we're all adults, we all come from different generations and different perspectives. The stars didn't align for me to be able to do a dedicated video on this palette, but this is the second look that I am doing with this palette that you can watch. I have one where I'm using the blues, these 2 here, that is on my Instagram, and you know what, I will leave that down below as well if you want to have a peek. I have it both on Instagram and TikTok, depending on what platform you prefer. I usually put some quick first impressions and some tutorials and stuff like that on those platforms. That doesn't really make sense on YouTube. YouTube have still not fixed 100% the shorts algorithm here, which means that if your shorts are outperforming or underperforming compared to your long form content, it will punish you in the algorithm when it comes to your long form content. And I want YouTube to be mainly about long form, so I have stopped publishing other stuff here. If maybe you haven't noticed, but that's something that I've done. Let me see if I can pull in a little bit of that same color on the lower lash line too. I'm using a Singe EO7, which is very detailed. So this is the shade Pink, and this is the shade that Amy says is her favorite in the palette, and I haven't used it yet. So I think we are gonna be trying this one. I'm gonna do this pretty much all over the lid. Ooh, that is very high shine, frosty baby pink. And I think there is a darker shimmer in here that I want to put in the outer corner. And I think maybe we can see if we can use Scrunchy, which is that darker shadow. If we can use that as maybe a little bit of a liner. I know, who am I? But I'm telling you, I want something that's a little bit more low-key for today. And you can see I'm putting it above my little fold here because I think that really helps with opening up my eye. This palette doesn't have something that I really like, which is a lighter matte. So I am probably gonna off screen, when I finished up the look, I'm probably gonna use something for my inner corner that is like a pastel of some kind, because I love a matte inner corner because I feel like it doesn't accentuate. You see those little folds that we have going on here? It really helps with that. And I might actually put a little bit of this in the inner part of the lower lash line, but not in the inner corner. That looks nice. So the shade that I was thinking about is this one that's called Vibes. I'm thinking we can do that one in the outer corner and then a little bit of Scrunchy just to do like a liner. Ooh, this picks up like it was born to pick up. Ooh, let me shake that off. I'm gonna spray it because we definitely don't want that too much fallout from a shade like that. So I'm thinking here. Oh, I love a black metallic. It's a shade that I just think is so sexy. And this is like a very like a mix between the pewter and the black, because it's not a full black metallic, but it's like a dark gray, very high shine. That is stunning. Oh my, I love that. So let me just pat it into the matte. And then we're gonna try and see if we can do something with that dark Scrunchy, which is the darkest matte. That's leaning almost like a blackened plum over here. And we can see if we can do like a little bit of a liner. I know, who am I? I'm gonna be using the EO7 again. And I'm gonna put Scrunchy on. And I'm just gonna be pushing that into, you can see it really does help, into the lash line. And I'm not doing it all the way, like halfway in, and then just dragging it out a little bit. I'm just gonna dig into the mini Xenon palette and I'm gonna do this almost white shade, and I'm just gonna pop a little bit in my inner corner because I like the look of it. I think that I think the difference is big. You might not agree, which is fine. I think the difference is big and I really like how it looks. I also have this is from the Norvina, but it's like a, oh my god, that was dirty. Wait, let me clean this off. It's a pastel pink eyeliner, and I think that will be perfect for the waterline. I think the fact that it is like a little bit of a pastel pink, I think it makes a big difference, but I'm gonna put on a half lash. I'm gonna be using actually these more demure ones from LH Cosmetics. These are called the Hero, and I've already cut, you can see, I've cut some of it off, so I made it into a half lash. So I'm gonna put that on and I'm gonna be done. We're off to go to, I think, IKEA. I mean, I feel like this is very cute. It is very like, it is dramatic enough so that it is like it's not no makeup. You did your makeup, and it is cool toned, but it's not so cool toned that it just looks gray on me. And I really appreciate that pink shadow. It's got such a sheen to it, and I really like what we did with that like darker shadow in the outer corner. I think the quality of this palette is beautiful. I myself miss a lighter shade in here, like a lighter, something like a pastel for the inner corner or something to blend out the darker shade with, but I understand it's not for everyone. And like you could see, I literally just reached into my collection and whatever my hand touched had something that I wanted, so that's not really a problem whatsoever. I just wanted to take an opportunity to showcase this palette another time here on YouTube. So I hope you enjoyed the look. I am gonna head out to probably IKEA with my husband. True Swedes going to IKEA together. And I hope you enjoyed the look, and I hope you enjoyed this like a little bit more everyday neutral moment from me. I can almost promise you that the next look is going to be something totally different, but yeah, hang tight, next look is coming right now. So my face makeup is done, and I am going to be applying the Ultimate Cappuccino eyeshadow palette from DeDe Signature. And I mean, I'm loving this middle row here. You can see like the pink and the orange and the yellow. So I kind of want to do, okay, wow. I'm gonna do the kind of eye look that I really like, which is like dark out here and then like mid-tone and then lighter. So I think I'm gonna start with this one and then the orange and then the yellow. And maybe we'll do the pink on the lower lash line. I don't normally do like a different, oh, that was an EO3. I actually want an EO6. It's like a little bit more dense, which is something that I want when I'm trying to do a little bit more colorful. Oh, I don't even have a primer on. Like I said, I don't always do like a different colored lower lash line because I feel like on me, sometimes I feel like it just doesn't make the look go together. But I do think that I have thought of a way where I can make it all go together. So this is the darkest shade that is called Hot Chocolate. And I'm taking some of the excess off, and I'm just little by little, I'm starting with this one out here. It's a really nice, slightly like a red undertone, darker brown. And now I'm gonna do the orange that is called Macchiato, and I'm just doing this next to it, and you see I'm slanting it a little bit on a diagonal. And I think I'm gonna use the Americano, the shimmer that's a little orangey. I've done my nails today, but I still haven't painted them. I think I'm gonna paint them with one of my new polishes from Mooncat, because I had that like the one that was like it was changing. I'm pre-filming this a bit when you're seeing this video a while ago, but I had that polish that was changing due to how warm it was. So it was like lighter here and then turned dark blue. But I also have this other really cool metallic that I really want to use, and I'm just super excited about that one. So I think I'm gonna paint my nails after this. I'm gonna change to a smaller brush and the shade Hazelnut, which is the yellow matte. Oh, it's giving candy corn. Oh, that is so cool. Oh, I love that. Wow. And again, I'm just using a little bit of leftover just here above the orange to just tie everything together. Do I have any brush here that's even remotely clean? I'm gonna use this one for the Sweet Cream, which is, oh, that is a cat hair. My cat loves sleeping in this chair that I'm sitting in, so everything is covered in cat hair. So this is the pinky one. And now I'm taking a little bit more of Hot Chocolate, and I'm gonna just blend that in so that we can have the pink but with the brown on the lower lash line. Okay, so there is one that's called French Vanilla here, and I think I'm just gonna try this and just see if this one, just to tie these two together. Oh yeah, I really think that this helps with the meeting of the yellow and the pink. And with that being said, this is Americano. I am gonna spray it because I spray all my shimmers, because especially today when I have like a matte, I do need to spray this a little bit. Otherwise it's just not gonna stick. And I'm gonna put this in the middle to cover mostly the orange matte on my lid. orange. I love it. I think I'm gonna do a brown in my waterline to just tie all of this together. But I am loving that look. Okay, let me put on some mascara and do a little bit on the waterline, and I can show you what it looks like before I put my lashes on. Sometimes I remember that and sometimes I'll forget. This time I'll remember. Okay, so this is the look with mascara and the brown eyeliner on before I put the falsies on, and like honestly, this is a great look as is. It's just that I prefer a little falsie on. I'm actually going to be using these from LH Cosmetics. They're just a little thinner. I think these are called Hero. Yeah, they are called the Hero Lash. So I'm actually going to put those on. They're a little bit more, they're not as dramatic as the ones I usually use. Where do I have them? They're not even here. They're hidden. I usually use the smoky ones. Where did I put them? Hello? Oh, here they are. You can tell the smoky ones are just more dramatic. I really, really love those, but I'm feeling the lighter ones today. So here is the finished look. I'm really, really excited about it. I'm just honestly having a good time with makeup today, and I really like how this turned out. And I like that there's a little pop of pink going on the lower lash line, but still like this warm yellowy orange. I love yellow and orange, and I thought the shadows worked out really good. I had no problems with any of them, so I'm super excited about this look. Let's get into look number 3. So we are gonna do a look with the Cradled in Ice palette by Fantasy Cosmetica. You just saw some swatches. I still haven't swatched it, but I will say I really like this color story. It is like a rosy neutrals with a pink and like more of a like almost like pinky clay color, and then there is a half blue side, and the shimmers look very, very interesting. There's also, and again, I lost something on the floor. You've seen the swatches, but there are some singles as well, and I'm not going to be using these today because I already have a look in mind that I want to do with this one, and I'm going to do blue here, pink, and then the neutrals under, and maybe I actually don't know which shimmer. We'll figure out the shimmer at the end. But I am going to start with Glacial, which is this here. And they are releasing some brushes as well. I only have the eye brushes. I decided to not get the face brushes because I knew I wanted to include this palette in a video like this, and I thought it would be unfair for me to ask for the face brushes when I knew I wouldn't be able to give them the proper show before or around the collection was being launched. But this is what the eye brushes look like, and I think I will say none of these are the kind of brush that I would use with Glacial, but I think for the sake of the argument, we're gonna try this one. Why does this have sparkles in it? What did I put it close to? This is the E04, and I will say quality-wise, they do feel really good. And I don't know if you can buy them both as, oh wait, where am I? Oh yeah, I cleaned my concealer brushes, so I'm gonna use the one from Sigma and a little bit of eye primer. And I don't know if you can buy these as singles or if you only can buy them in a set, but they did give me some information, so I will put together with all the other things, of course, I'm using in this video. I will put it in the description box in case you want to see, because I realized that this drop has a couple of more pieces to them than some of the other ones. And yeah, the Singe FO2 is currently, it's just been washed, so it's still a little moist. So we'll use the Sigma one. But this one is really nice too. It is just not quite as dense and has a little bit of a different shape. But I think it's a really good brush too. Ooh, it picks up really good. And we are just gonna be putting this, I don't know how you're supposed to be using this brush. Probably not like this. That is a really cool color. But yeah, I'm just gonna, I wonder how you're supposed to be using this brush. Probably to like this, to get this shape and blend at the same time. Yeah, that's what I would guess. But let me put this one here, and then we'll blend out with the lighter one, and then we'll add the Nest, which is the darkest one. I think for me, a shape like this, I would like it more if it was a little thicker. But that's just my preference, because I feel like it's a little hard to maneuver the way that I like to do my makeup. So this is Frozen, and we are just gonna add that to the edge. And oh, this brush I like a lot. This is a nice one. This is number EO6. You know, I love shapes like this. The bristles are really, really soft. That can sometimes be a problem when you try to blend shadows that are a little bit more pigmented, because they're not moving the pigment around as well as they would if they just had a little bit more, I don't want to say scratch to them, but a little bit more surface to them. Sometimes that actually really helps with moving the pigment around. And at the end of the day, what you want is performance. But I'm loving the shape of this brush. That's absolutely wonderful. I'm gonna be trying this teensy brush. It is the EO2, and we're gonna do Nest. I'm gonna do little by little, the dark blue. And I'm just gonna do that in the outer corner, and we can see if it builds or not. Oh, that is so pretty. Okay, I'm loving the result of that. So what I'm thinking is this one. It's called Hatchling. By the way, am I the only one who thought of Sindragosa when we saw this? If you know, you know. But we're gonna be using this one, the pinky one. And I'm gonna use the same brush. I just cleaned it off a little bit. And we are gonna put that in the inner part. And I think I will be using this one. Wait, did I get blue here? Oh my god, why didn't you tell me? I thought we were friends. I think I'm gonna be ending up putting this one in the inner corner too. Look at that. Because I feel like this will be such a good transition to the neutrals on the lower lash line. So I think I'm gonna be doing all three of these neutrals on the lower lash line, but I'll be like darkest, mid-tone, lightest, and then going into the pink. I feel like that's what we're doing. So deepest one first. Oh, look at how deep that is. Ooh. I'm gonna see if I can just blend that into the blue a bit around the outer corner. That is very dark. Okay, so this is Hideaway. Oh, I think some people are really gonna love the undertones of these neutrals. They're like cool tone, but not gray. And then the last one is Adore. And you can see this one will really work together with the pink if I put that in my inner corner. Because like, look at how that just really ties everything together. So let me put a little bit of the Hatchling in my inner corner then, the pale pink. Oh yes, that looks so cool. Okay, I need to swatch a couple of these and just see which one we're doing. That is Frost. That would be nice. This is Treasure. That's a little bit more blue. I feel like this Frost is like a lighter nice color, and this is Crystal. Crystal is really pretty. I don't know if you can see out here. There's some purple to that one. Yeah, the Crystal is like blue to purple. I'm wondering if that would go, or if maybe this one. I might do Frost. This one, because it also has some pink in it and it's lighter. I think that's gonna go really well with the pink. Okay, so this is the flat brush that's in the collection. This is great for detailing. It's a little bit similar to my brush, but my brush has shorter bristles and it's like longer bristles. But this is very detailed, and for me, this is too small to cover a lid. So I'm gonna be using my own. This is a Cinch EO1. You can see this is poofier and it is cut. All the bristles are cut in a way so that it's super easy to pick up product. You just have to go back and forth a little bit if it's a product that's a little harder to pick up, but it picks up really good. And you can see this is a little, not like super flaky, but definitely if I don't spray this, I will get some fallout, at least a lot of fallout. If I spray it, I might get as little as possible. So I'm gonna start where the two colors meet. Yeah, that is a really nice color. And I'm just gonna see if I can just spread this, especially on the inner part. And just get, ooh, yeah, a really nice shiny result. I don't wanna be all the way into the outer corner, but this is a little topper-esque. So we will look more blue over the blue and more sheer over the pink. And I usually apply it and I drag it downwards to get the edge to not look too defined. But I think that that looks really good. I'm gonna spread out a little here. And I might go back to that small brush with the dark blue that's called Nest and just blend on the edge here so that it like blends together. But that looks really good. I'm gonna do a cool tone brown in my waterline. This is Brouhaha by Colourpop. And I think that will work. I've been using an alarming amount of brown eyeliners as of late, but if I had put blue on the lower lash line too, I would have gone in with Prance. But I think that this actually works better. So this is the look with mascara. It's like all done, but I didn't put lashes on. I'm also using a matte lipstick from Nabla. I wanted to do something that was a pink, but not a cool tone pink to match the look, but I also don't do cool tone pink. This is Love Me Too. I really like this formula. So that is the finished look, and I am really excited about how this looks. I think it looks really sexy and smoky and sultry, but at the same time, I'm loving the lightness here because it really opens up your eyes, especially when you're starting to get a little bit more hooded eyes with age, or like me, when you're starting to get this age hood that is going on here. For me, putting a lot of darkness there is not always the best suggestion, and sometimes you just have to work with what you have, basically. But I'm really, really enjoying this. I think that this might be, is it a new favorite? I don't know, but I'm really enjoying the color story, really enjoying how well thought out everything is here together, and I had no problem whatsoever with any of the mattes. I know there's been one or two, I think 2 palettes with Fantasy Cosmetica where I wasn't 100% about the mattes, but these are delightful. I really, really enjoy them. So yeah, I think this is a solid release. We're gonna do a 4th look right now, and as I'm filming this, I actually do not know what palette or what release I'm using, but you'll find out right now. Okay, so for the last look, we're actually going to be digging into the new Nomad Air palettes. You just saw some swatches of these. Normally, I don't swatch the palettes before I film the look, but with these, I actually already have swatched them. I can tell you right now, the one that swatches the best is this one. This is the Abu Dhabi one. This one, both the shimmers and the mattes swatch amazingly. With the other 2 palettes, oh, drop one in my knee. The other 2 palettes, the matte swatch amazingly, but the shimmer swatch a little weak. not super, they're not foily, they're almost a little crumbly, and they're not high intensity. So I'm gonna be using the silver from this one because I want to see how it is on the eyes, and I'm gonna be using some of the greens in this one. So I'm gonna be starting with this one, and then we're gonna blend it up with this one, and we're gonna use this in the inner corner, and then we'll do the silver because I really want to see, because I don't feel like those, I feel like the mattes swatch like I predict in Nomad to matte to swatch, but I didn't feel like that about the shimmers. So now I'm very intrigued to try them out. I will say I actually didn't use the first Nomad Air palette that came out, the one that was a little neutral. I didn't use that one because it came at a time, well, so does these, to be honest, and that's why I didn't do a dedicated video. I just really did not have time to do 3 looks for last Saturday. And also, it was my husband's first work-free weekend in a really, really, really long time where he didn't have to go into the lab at all. So I just really wanted to have a full weekend with him. We went to Barnes & Noble, we went by the pool, we went to a friend's house who had a party, and we just slept in, we went to the dog park. We just had a really, really good, like my husband was baking, I was reading. We had this really lovely weekend together where we didn't think about work at all. And sometimes I feel like that's really worth it. I really want to do a video because I've been very open about like, and this is nothing to do with the note. I just say so far, mattes look incredible. I really want to make a video talking a little bit about my mental health because I will say 2024 has been one of my most harmonious and happy years in a really long time. And I really think that it is me cutting back on work. I'm gonna be honest, even though I love my work, but I really think that me cutting back on work really has been a big contributor to me feeling as good as I do with my mental health. Because sometimes I do be stressing myself for the weirdest reasons. Now I'm using this one, and I'm just blending this out. I used a bigger brush before. This is the EO6, and now I'm using the EO4. You can see similar shape, just smaller. I love blending and buffing edges with this one. So I'm just gonna blend and buff a little bit here, and then I'll reapply some of the dark green. Okay, so I'm reapplying some of the dark green here. I will say, this green, and you can probably see it's not super opaque. I don't, this dark green, it's really lovely. This light one, I don't know how I feel about it. Maybe this is the reason why nobody never has any light shadows in their palettes. It's because they're like a little dusty and not fully opaque, because I don't know how I feel about that green. It's a little sad. I'm gonna use the green that's in the middle. It's called Moose Crossing, and it is a little bit more cool toned. We're gonna put this in. I will be doing, though, a dedicated video. That's probably going to be the next video you see on my channel on the Glam Light and Fresh Prince collection. Because as you're seeing this video, I am actually heading to LA to spend a couple of days with my bestie Heather Austin. We are going to be flying in and attending the release party of that collection. And hopefully we're gonna have a really good time, and I will film with the collection when I get back. I'm pretty sure we will be getting it in when we're there, because the last time we were at Glamlight, we did get the collection in hand at the event, which is something that I really appreciate, and I'll bring it home and I'll film with it and I'll have that up. I don't know, okay? Can you tell that I'm a little apprehensive about this look? I don't know how I feel. I'm not blown away. I'm putting some of the same mattes here, and then we can do the silver. I mean, it's not bad, but it's also not great. I feel bad because I love Nomad, but I don't know. I don't feel like these are the same. I might actually use a little bit of the lighter shade here. Just on, like, I'm gonna use a flat brush and just put a little bit of that in the absolute inner. Yeah, just to ease up that little fold a bit. Yeah, somehow, like, this one feels more pigmented too. Somehow this, like, reddish palette just feels... And I felt that when I swatched them too, it just felt a little different. Okay, I like that a lot better. Okay, let's go into the Oslo one. This actually, Oslo, this is the Gardermoen. Gardermoen is the airport that is closest to where I grew up as a kid, because I grew up in Värmland, Sweden. It's close to the Norwegian border. And Gardermoen is the airport in Oslo. So we are going to be using Nordic Cool, which is this one here. And I am going to be using a flat brush, and I am going to spray this one because it just feels a little dull, but I'm gonna give this the old college try. Everything deserves to be tried, and sometimes things do be looking a little nicer on the eye. Okay, that is what I would call a traditional shimmer. It's not a metallic, it's not foiled, it's just a traditional shimmer, and it is not super sparkly. Honestly, I think that is a little, I mean, we can all see. It's a little underwhelming, but yeah, I guess that will be the look. Let me put some mascara on and I can show you what it looks like before I put some lashes on, but yeah, I'm not blown away. I used a little bit of this warm green in here. I don't even know if it's the right one. This is the Oden number 6, but it's here. It's done. Probably should have done something mint, but it's still cute. I think that this look, I mean, it looks nice, but it's not as pigmented as I want my light mattes to be, and this shimmer is just a little too weak to be a favorite. Not bad, but not as good as I'm used to Nomad being. I'm gonna put on a lash though, and we can zoom out and I can chat a bit about all of these releases and let you know which ones are actually my favorites. Okay, so this is the finished look with the palettes that I used. Mainly used the green one that is the Canadian Rockies. Okay, here's my verdict on these palettes. I don't hate them, but I don't love them. I really think that they are okay, if I'm gonna be honest, and I feel like Nomad usually does better quality than this, and I don't think, and you can probably see it as well, like this isn't extremely impressive. And if you just think about like all the palettes that we have here, I think that these are the ones, in my humble opinion, that have the most like meh formula. Again, not bad, they're still better than a lot of other things that I've tried, but they're just not as amazing as I think that Nomad Cosmetics usually does. And I also think that, especially, like, my favorite is the Fantasy Cosmetica. It's because I love colorful makeup. I mean, this color story is most up my alley with the blues, and I actually really like these kind of neutrals here as well, like the kind of like mauve-y leaning cool tone browns. I hope that makes sense. I actually really enjoy that. Apparently my dress for the event that I am going to today came, so Kaisa needed to let everyone know. But the Ultimate Cappuccino palette, I really like the color story of this one as well. It's a neutral palette in my liking because it has a couple of pops. I can go brighter if I want to. I will say the pink one was a little weak and a little powdery, and I think that this one, if you're going to use this pink and you want to use it in your crease, I would say start with a darker shade and blend out with the pink, because I think you're going to have a hard time building on this pink. Other than that, I thought these shades were really good. The Adept one, this one I have talked about before. This one isn't the first time I'm using it. I mean, I love Adept's quality and I love Amy. I especially love their shimmers. I sometimes feel like their mattes are a little hard pressed, and I wish they were a little softer to the touch. Me personally, I'm not much into cool tone like neutrals either, so this isn't my perfect color story, but I did do a look on Instagram as well where I did a blue monochromatic look, which was really, really beautiful. And I think there are some nice options in here. And even though I like Amy and even though I like Adept, we all know that cool tone neutrals isn't my favorite, so it's really hard to say like, oh my god, this is my everything, because we all know that I prefer a yellow over like a taupe any day of the week. But the quality is still like a really good Adept quality. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I will leave details about all of these palettes down below. I love doing these videos where you can just we can just gather all the palettes together and all the releases together and just chat about it, because sometimes it does end up being a lot of releases, and if we can just put them together and almost like pit them together and see if any of these releases are worth picking up, or if it's something that just like we can skip all of it. And if nothing else, I hope that these 4 tutorials helped us a little bit of an inspiration if you want to shop your stash and maybe try something new for the summertime. I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you again in my new makeup releases that is going to be on Sunday. And also, hopefully, I will have a video on the new Glamlight collection on Saturday. Fingers crossed that that's going to happen, but just know that the new makeup releases of this week is going to be Sunday and not Friday. Bye!